Hello fellow Qtopians, this is kind of a different video to what I normally make, but I figured this would be a really cool retrospective on one of my favorite DAWs, Caustic. Let's get into it. Please bear with me if some of the footage is crap. I recorded some of it with my phone. Here I have with me a very old Samsung Galaxy Tab 3 Lite from 2015. I know, very old indeed, but I managed to get every single version of Caustic running on this, and look at my wallpaper. Very fitting for this video. So of course, currently we have the version of Caustic that everyone knows and loves, which is 3.2. However, we're going to be taking a look at every single version of Caustic that there has been for both Android and Windows operating systems. Let's go ahead and take a look at Caustic 1.1. This is the earliest version that I was able to get my hands on. I wasn't able to get my hands on 1.0, but that's okay. We have Caustic 1.1. And already, the subsynth looks primitive. Very primitive. Now, let me look at the menu really quick, and you can see that it is version 1.1.0. And if we go to help and we go to what's new, we can see that we have stereo output. There was no stereo output before. You're telling me that there was no panning or stereo controls for anything? And there's controller automation now. This was when controller automation was added. This is when custom waveforms were added to the subsynth. Apparently now you can create your own beatbox kits. You couldn't do that before. And the new auto wah insert effect, which honestly does not get used much now, but I'm sure at the time it was absolutely amazing to have access to. So yeah, this is what we got right now. And you had a fixed rack, meaning there was no custom layouts. You were limited to a subsynth, 2 PCM synths, 2 bass lines, and a beatbox. And also, the bass lines are super different than what they are now. But I will say, the bass lines are something that I think the old versions of Caustic do better than the new ones. Because the bass lines look and work more like an actual TB303 bassline synthesizer than the modern Caustic. Which, I mean, maybe that's just my synth nerd side talking, but who cares? It's still Caustic, and it's still really cool either way. So yeah, I'm gonna try and make something with this, and yeah, time-lapse time. Probably find a way to use the PCM synths, so let's do that. That is so house. That is so house music right there. All right, let's go to the PCM synth 1. And also, I forgot to mention, if you haven't noticed yet, there is no pattern editors for the subsynth as well as the PCM synths. Just the bass line and beatboxes. You have to manually punch in the notes for the other synths. Biggest pain in the ass of my entire existence. Holy cow. Alright, let's just do this. Very random, but hey, I proved a point. So let's head into the next version, which is 2.0. Now 2.0 is where things start to get interesting. Now, I'm going to install 2.0. So let's go to our files. Let's go to our downloads folder, if I can find it. Here it is. Let's go down to our, I believe this is 2.0. This might not be 2.0. Which one is 2.0 and which one's 2.1? This one I believe is 2.0. So let's take a look. Here we go. We got Caustic 2.0 loading up right now. And, yeah, so this is where Caustic starts to really take form and look more like it does today. Now, it still looks very primitive, obviously, but honestly, I will say 2.0 is one of my favorite versions of Caustic, in terms of nostalgia, and also just because this is when Caustic really started to take form, as being a decent mobile DAW. So I'm going to create a new song really quick and just show you everything. So you still have the same kind of setup here, but now you have a customizable rack, as well as the PCM synths now actually work like actual sampling machines, and once again, they're starting to look more modern. The bass line, I mean, come on, this is pure TB303 material, and I love it. I love it, dude. This is what the bass line should have continued to be. I'm sorry, there is no change in my mind on that. But anyways, so let's go ahead and create an actual song. Or better yet, let me show you what I've already created. Now first, let's take a look at what's new. A dynamic rack. Of course, now we have pattern editors for everything. We have upgraded machines, of course. We have a better effects rack. And now apparently this is where the user manual comes in. So, let me go ahead, open the song menu, and let's go ahead and load one of the songs. And let me show you just a little snippet. So that was pretty much the whole song. But yeah, this gives you an idea of Caustic was really starting to take form as an actual DAW. And now the effects rack lets you have multiple effects instead of just one. Now you have two. The mixer improved. And now we have width controls. Hooray! Alright, now for 2.1 and onward, we can just use my PC. So none of this janky recording on an old 2015 tablet. Let's get into it. 2.1 running on Windows 11. Never thought I'd see the day when that happens, running Caustic 2.1 on Windows 11. 24 millisecond latency, and we got, let's see, let's go to About and Caustic 2.1.2, all this information, and yeah. So Caustic 2.1 added quite a bit. Let's take a look at what's new in this version. So we have portrait view for tablets, customizable UI options for keyboard and the control panel, software buttons for menu and rack, standardized pattern editor for all machines. This is what it does. It changes the pattern editor for the beatbox as well as the bassline. This is where custom length patterns were added.
You have a finer note resolution up to 64 notes. Really, 64th notes. Really useful. Transpose and shift tools for patterns. Global song shuffle with per pattern override. Slight latency improvement. Support for most wave sampling and bit rates. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that when you used to load samples in the old versions of Caustic, if it wasn't one that Caustic liked, it would just crash like instantly. Strange, but yeah. Added built-in LFO and distortion to the baseline machine. Yeah, this is the update to the baseline that honestly I kind of don't like, but you know what? I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. Oh, this is when MIDI was added. So we can see here MIDI. I don't have anything connected, so I really can't show you guys, but that's okay. All right, let's take a look again. New parametric EQ insert effect, follow mode in the sequencer. Measures can be inserted or trimmed from the song in sequencer. Improved editor in PCM synth. Okay, that appears to be it. Cool. Yeah. So now, oh wow, this is running at a much faster frame rate than I would have expected. Anyways, so I'm gonna be trying to create something with this. So yeah, time lapse. I should also point out that there was some new presets added to 2.1 as well. Just a random note, but yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this for a minute. Alright, so skip to now, and I made this little beat. It's like a little psytrance kind of thing. Let me just show you. yeah, that was pretty much it for 2.1. Now let's go on to 3.0. Probably one of the most important updates of Caustic. Alright, so before I head on to 3.0, I just realized there was a modular prototype beta version of the modular before 3.0 came out. And, yeah, so I managed to get my hands on this, and this thing is really cool because it has a built-in pitch bend feature. Modern Caustic does not have this in the modular. Another thing it has that Modern Caustic does not have is built-in effect sends in the modular. 2 chorus sends and a delay and a reverb. Bro, like, actually, please bring this back in Modern Caustic, for the love of God. Alright, so you also did not have as many little components as you do now, but it came with some of the presets that are there now, and some that aren't. One thing I will point out is this is using the 2.0 textures, not even using the 2.1 textures. This is using 2.0 textures. So I'm wondering if this was this started development before 2.1 came out. Before 2.1 came out. I could be wrong, and maybe it was just a specific choice. But judging by what's going on here, I'm pretty sure this was started development before 2.1 even was released. So I don't really have too much to show here. It's just it's just the built-in. It's just the modular, but with some chorus and delay and reverb. But I did manage to make an entire drum kit with this. So let's take a look. Yeah, it's an entire drum loop. So that's pretty much all I got to show for that. But still cool nonetheless, and cool little piece of history outside of the regular means of Caustic that you'd expect. You know, there's reverb, delay, and that's about it. Alright, so let's head on to 3.0, probably the most influential Caustic update yet. Alright, moving on to 3.1. 3.0. 3.0 was one of the biggest updates to Caustic ever. No, I think it literally was the biggest update to Caustic ever. Let's see. So first of all, it added a FTP server feature, which died almost instantly. Yes, we'll allow that, just because. But yes, this feature died almost instantly. And, yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, it died almost instantly. Let's take a look. 14 machine slots, 6 new synth types, 8 new insert effects, and, 16 total, 10 synths total, a dedicated mastering section, live note recording, a wave and sample editor, microphone sampling, pattern automation, automation editing, note quantize toggle, metronome, and, yeah, the file transport. So now I already have some stuff to show you guys, the songs. So let me just load. Let's see. Let's load. Whoa, what should I load? I mean, this is kind of just showing off some of the features, I guess. This also added better automation for. First of all, this added automation for patterns. It added better automation for songs. It added a lot of stuff. I name a lot of my songs Things, if you haven't noticed. But, yeah. So, this version, of course, added the pad synth, the 8-bit synth, and finally, this is the version that added the modular, please bring back reverb and delay. And, yeah. So, yeah, that's 3.0. But the best part about 3.0 is the new demo songs. Welcome to Caustic, absolute banger.
Welcome to Caustic.
Yeah, classic 2013 dubstep type shit, except it's on a mobile DAW. Let's go. Anyways, so that was 3.0. On to 3.1. Alright, so we're in 3.1, and something I just noticed that I cannot believe I didn't notice before. If you look at previous versions of Caustic before 3.1, the letters were never aligned. How did I miss this? They were never aligned, but dude, it just ruined that for me now. I didn't realize, but the letters were never aligned. And now all of a sudden they're aligned and I notice it and it's like, holy crap. Now, 3.1 was the addition of the KS synth, which, if you don't know what the KS synth is and how it works, basically, if you know FL Studio and you know FL's Plucked, this is basically just a better version of Plucked. Deadass, this is a better version of an FL Studio plugin. Dude, how is a free DAW competing with a $200 one? Bro, what? At least in some aspects. So yeah, we got the KS synth. We got in the modular now, we have the new machine input as well as the K35 low pass filter component, and we also have better latency features, and one of the most interesting and unique features that was added in 3.1 was skins. Bro, this shit fire. Now, skins nowadays, of course, work a little differently than they used to, especially with the SAW synth being added. You know, the controls graphics file had to get updated, so it works a little differently. But, yeah, and of course, we still have the FTP server that does nothing. What's new in this version? Oh, yes, and also for MIDI, we also have CC mappings for MIDI as well, which is really cool. Yeah, this added undo and redo, metronome counting, velocity pads, which is basically just, so the beatbox used to not have, just have, you know, these little pads here at the bottom that just kind of did nothing. Not nothing, but, you know, just played the sound like normal. But then in 3.1, this guy added and basically made it so now when you tap it, you have different velocities depending on where you click. And it also, it just works like a drum pad. I don't know why it's called a velocity pad, but we won't question it. I won't question it. No new demo songs were added in this version, unfortunately, but I will show you guys. So the KS synth, I'm sorry, it's underused for sure. It has its use cases. It's not really like widely used, but it's better than Plucked, you know, which is in FL Studio. So the fact that it's better than Plucked is like really cool, and I really have to give the developer a lot of credit. Yeah, developer singular. Yeah, Caustic was made by one dude, Reg Poirer. I know I pronounced that last name wrong. I know I absolutely butchered it. But you know what? I'm stupid. So, anyways, so yeah, this is the KS synth, and it sounds like this. And then compare that to FL Studio's Plucked. You'll see what I'm talking about. And yeah, Plucked only has two controls. Alright, but enough of me rambling on about this. Let's go on to modern day Caustic 3.2, the version we all know and love. Let's get right into it. Ah, yes, 3.2, the version that added the shift key of all things, better VU meter tracking in the mixers. It added sequencer. It added note previews in the sequencer, and it also, of course, the biggest update was the SAW synth, which very useful. And I mean, yeah, it's just the SAW synth. 4 new effects: the Octaver, Octaver, however the hell you will pronounce it, I don't know. Very unique and interesting. You have vibrato, tremolo, and auto pan, which I mean, kind of an underwhelming thing to add, but useful nonetheless. And we also got stereo sampling. For everything. So, the PCM synth now has stereo sampling. In fact, if I record into whatever I record into, like this. Yes, I don't know why Caustic records it up like that, but, you see 2 channels, stereo, and, you have a byte beat randomizer in the 8-bit synth here. Okay, rip eardrums. Rip eardrums times 2. And, you also have custom waveforms in the bass line. Strange, but I guess it has its use cases. Yeah. Also, you had a standalone wave editor and merge rack to instrument, so you can literally just make your own sound fonts, basically. Pretty useful, I must say. And let's see what else. So if we actually take a look at what's new in this version, half the stuff isn't mentioned. But, support for more time signatures, indeed that was added. Keyboard scale assistant, indeed that was added. Keyed tempo, indeed that was added. MIDI mappings for mixers, indeed that was added. And improved export options. So, yeah. I mean, I can't complain. Now, I will say I wish Caustic got more
updates. I do wish it got, more updates. However, guys, in case you were wondering, all is not lost. For somebody, some brave soul decided to take matters into his own hands and rewrite Caustic from the ground up. And he's probably, hopefully, going to be adding some things. No promises, but his channel is literally called Saving Caustic, so you know what? I have high hopes. Definitely the best free DAW ever, and it really flies under the radar, especially with professional producers. I'm assuming because of how old-fashioned it looks and just how obscure it is because of how not widely known it is. Funny enough, I discovered the Google Play Store when I was like 4.5. Not the Google Play Store, but I discovered Caustic on the Google Play Store when I was about 4.5. That was literally my introduction to, music production. Dead ass. I have been using Caustic for that long. Since 3.0. That is when I first discovered Caustic, 3.0. And yes, I am 15 now. So, yeah, that's quite a long time. Don't mind my notifications. Anyways, so, that was kind of like a retrospective and history of Caustic. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a ton. And if you haven't noticed in this video, I got a new mic on my PC, and damn, this thing sounds good. But that's besides the point. Thank you tremendously for the support. You guys are amazing. The support you guys give me is phenomenal. Thank you guys so much. My channel might be small, but every little bit of support counts to me. And my goal on YouTube is not to get famous. It's not views. It's just showing people what I find interesting and, getting my videos out to people with similar, interests and stuff, again, phone, shut up. But, oh my God. Okay, anyways. Oh my God! Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!